In today's video, we are going to be talking about Mr. Danny Boy right here. Yes, Dan Heng is going to be getting his rerun, surprisingly, in version 2.0, which I didn't think he was going to be coming so soon, in all honesty. We are skipping over a rerun, which is funny enough because a lot of people have been asking for this one character to coincide with a lot of their teams and also for Blade specifically, and that is Luocha. Where is he at? Now he's going to be lumped up with probably Acheron and what is his name? Aventurine. So that's going to be weird, honestly. Rip to Luocha Awancers. But yes, we are going to get Dan Heng, and today we're going to be talking about what has come out, what characters have come out, what relics has, what light codes, all that type of stuff. What has come out in order to help out Dan Heng? Is he still worth it in this day and age? Is he still worth it in the meta? That's what we're going to be going all around today. And we're also going to be looking at a lot of different characters that will be releasing as well that will be helping him out, or as well just going to be a competition towards him. So looking at Dan Heng right now in the game, we really didn't get many changes to his overall loadout or his kit, in all honesty, versus all the things that a lot of other players or a lot of other accounts have seen with a lot of their favorite characters. Something like, let's say, Dr. Ratio, he has Topaz and Numbi, and then Topaz and Numbi have Dr. Ratio. Same thing. With Dan Heng, we really haven't gotten anything else. Right now, of course, his signature and Fall of an Aeon are both by far some of their best options, and not really anything else that's come out that is going to be helping out Dan Heng as much as he would want it to. And then same thing for his relics. There really hasn't been anything new in regards to a set that will help him out, which of course is the 4-piece imaginary set and also Musketeer if you want to go down that option with more speed and the basic attack damage where most of his damage is from. And then Rudolin Arena is still king for him. So in regards to his actual in-game kit, in regards to his actual in-game loadout, this is pretty much nothing changed. He's been the same, but he's still very strong. And we're going to be talking about that in a quick second. But one thing a lot of people are going to be looking for is pulling for Eidolons. Now, I know E2 is by far probably one of the craziest Eidolons in the game for sure, rivaling something like Ruan Mei E1. But going ahead and looking at his Eidolons, because I know some people will be pulling for it. E1 is going to give you extra righteous heart stacks, which if I'm not wrong, this is the talent that gives you more damage overall. I could be wrong, I could be right. Let's go ahead and look at it real quick. Yes, this is the one that gives you more damage based on how many times you hit the enemy, and you basically max this out if you do your 3 skill point hit, which you're always going to want to do. So that is one thing right there. So you are just going to be doing more damage overall with E1 outright. There's no condition. The way you play Dan Heng is going to be the same, and you're still going to get more damage from that. That's really cool. The main thing a lot of people are going to be looking at is E2, and if you get E2, I'm just going to say this right now, very, very, very unneeded for this game. This game does not need that degree of level, which you are going to be doing after his ultimate. Not only are you going to get your turn back, so you would use your skill, you would use your ultimate, then you get another turn, so you get 3 basically big portions of damage coming out with Dan Heng, which is absolutely insane. And then you also get 1 extra skill point that is, you know, exclusive to Dan Heng. So you will be basically getting a free 3-point skill attack just for doing his ultimate, and then you do get your turn back, which is absolutely insane. That's a crazy amount of power. If you really like Dan Heng for that alone, if you already have him, E2 is worth it, but not really. It's worth it in terms of the power that it gives. It's really one of the strongest E2s in the game. This is a really great Eidolon for him, but not needed for this game. He's still absolutely amazing right now on the tier list. If I had to say so, he's still somewhere around the higher floor of DPS. The only other character to trump him over would be something like Jing Liu, and then also Dr. Ratio is right there with them, because Dr. Ratio is absolutely insane for the amount of damage that he does versus Dan Heng. There are a couple of cons that come to Dan Heng when it comes to his gameplay, which should be apparent for a lot of people because he does have a certain playstyle that some people might not like. He's still a very strong unit and a very great unit. The only problem is that he does need a team formed around him slightly, or just overall better built supports, just so that you can make sure that you are playing around his very SP consuming type of playstyle, similar to something like QQ, similar to something like Sell It. So if you like those type of characters, something like Dan Heng will basically hit right at home for you. But for people that haven't tried a character that uses a lot of skill points all at once, like QQ, like Sell It, like Dan Heng, then it's going to be a little bit harder to, you know, get used to it, and you might not like that type of style. So if you're not looking forward to building out your supports very quick, having your supports be super skill point generators, if you don't have a character like Luocha who's able to provide a fat ton of skill points, then, you know, Dan Heng might not be the right choice for you. But looking at the content versus him right now, he's just got a numerous amount of buffs that we are going to be talking about, especially with the characters that we have been seeing. And looking at his banner as well, his banner does look really nice. In all honesty, having one character to two characters that work with him right now, which is one being Tingyun, which is overall just the universal support that everyone loves. He gets the attack boost, he gets the damage boost, he gets a energy boost, which is going to help him get his ultimate faster. So Tingyun is by far going to be a really good option for him to have the banner, especially with Eidolons. You get speed, you get more energy regen. There's a lot of really good stuff with Eidolons for Tingyun, so this is overall really good 4-star on the banner. And then you also have Misha, which, funny enough, Misha could work on a Dan Heng team depending on how you build it. It would be very Ruan Mei reliant, which we are going to be talking about Ruan Mei in a quick second. And Misha is basically however many skill points your other teammates use, and then you end up using your damage. Your damage is going to be boosted up based on how many skill points we've been using before Misha attacks. So that's a very cool sub DPS type mechanic. Does Dan Heng need it like on him on a team? Not really, because Dan Heng does amazing amounts of damage. He does absolutely absurd amounts of damage. By far, of course, remembering being the title of him being the #1 reason why we started talking about power creep in the first place. So yes, he still is a very amazing character. And does he need Misha? Not really, but it is a character that could work with them. But there are a couple of characters we need to look at in regards to what's come out, what's helped Dan Heng ever since his release. And one of them by far, Ruan Mei, is just absolutely stupid with Dan Heng. I call that basically the blender team. The Dan Heng with Ruan Mei and using 3 skill point attack, also using his ultimate. There's basically no enemy that will have more than 10 to 20% of their shield left if they're a super boss elite. That's the only person who can survive with maybe a sliver of shield left, because having that toughness break that he has, which is very, very strong on his 3 skill point attack, is very, very nasty with Ruan Mei's type of buffing. And then not only that, you also get the penetration, the speed that he will love. You also get the, what is it? There's a lot of stuff. Damage buff. You get break effect to make them even slower with the imaginary break. There's a lot of stupid stuff that go with having Ruan Mei in the field, and having Ruan Mei and dedicating her to that hyper carry style of team that Dan Heng has. That is just overall insanity. Of course, you are robbing Ruan Mei from other teams that could use her a little bit more, but still, Ruan Mei is still an amazing benefit for people that want to just go crazy with their Dan Heng. And the toughness damage that they're going to be taking, the delay that they're going to be taking, the fact that they're not going to be able to do anything because that 3 skill point attack does way too much damage to the shield, it's just overall insanity. The other 2 characters that did come out in regards to helping out, Dan Heng is REHOO. REHOO is by far one of them. One of them being, sustain, of course. One of them being a cleanser off field, having heal off field, and then also with REHOO, her ultimate is going to be giving you attack and energy, making it a little bit easier to hit higher numbers and also get your ultimate a lot quicker. That way you're not, spamming your skill points, making it to 0 every single time, and that's going to overall just help Dan Heng's gameplay by far. You're going to be saving skill points, and you're also going to be doing some damage on the side as well, getting that a little bit faster, being able to, if you have E2, spam a lot of turns with REHOO, which would be absolutely insane. And there has been a 4-star that has been helping him out as well in regards to the skill point, consumption that he does have, which is Hanya. If you have Hanya, she is really good with Dan Heng being able to provide those skill points that he really, really wants. And Hanya is just basically a lifesaver. What's it called? What is that thing called when you are swimming and you have that little circle around you? I forgot what it's called. But that thing, she basically saves the need to try to hyper invest in supports. She has the speed buff, she has an attack buff, she gives you skill points, which if you build your supports or your sustains very well in speed, they're able to get those skill points very quickly for you and help Dan Heng with this SP consumption. But Hanya basically just says, I'll do that, my base, I guess you could say. My ultimate, my skill, the burden, that helps out a lot, that gives more damage, that allows you to be able to rock a team with Dan Heng without having to worry as much. In regards to characters that have been basically trying to compete with them, Dr. Ratio being a free character has been absolutely amazing, has been a really great unit, has been a very strong unit for a free-to-play character, and he's also imaginary as well. He doesn't have the same type of clear that Dan Heng has, because Dan Heng has a 3-hit adjacent, hit with his 3 skill points and his 2 skill points. Dr. Ratio doesn't really have the, advantage to be able to hit adjacent targets at the same time. He is full on single target, and where his single target damage comes in is not that bad. You honestly can clear a lot of waves very quickly with him, just for the nukes that he throws out with his chalk or his follow-up attack. He's a really good unit. Does he go against Dan Heng in adjacent damage and also single target? In single target, Dr. Ratio would win 100% because Dan Heng's damage will split off into the adjacent targets. But Dan Heng is still an amazing character, a very strong character. Dr. Ratio is a lot easier to build, but you do have a more restrictive team that you have to play with because you do have to have debuffs on the team. While something like Dan Heng, he can basically work with a really good amount of characters. Just you need to have some nice investment into them to be able to help you out with getting your ultimate faster, with getting your SP faster. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. And then also, we also have to talk about that, you know, one of his better supports if you do build it correctly. And I think C6 Yukong would be better, or E6, to be able to rock with them. But you do have a free-to-play imaginary character to play with. So not only do you have Dr. Ratio, you also have Yukong. And if you're looking forward to Dan Heng, he's definitely going to be a different type of character. And for two characters that by far are going to be helping him, that are going to be coming out very soon, because he is getting immediate support already and is a big reason why he's probably rerunning. Sparkle, if you haven't seen from the stream, Sparkle is going to be a very big buff to Dan Heng. Sparkle is going to be an insane buff for him, an insane buff for Sela, an insane buff for QQ, because she's able to give you 7 skill point bar, and she can also regen skill points with her actual ultimate, and she can also give action advance, which is absolutely insane for a character to do. This is by far going to be Dan Heng's #1 character for sure to have on the team, just because you are going to get that advance forward, you are going to get that extra, you know, skill points, you are going to have a bigger bar to be able to stock up skill points if he's not already using it. She's going to be an absolutely amazing character for Dan Heng. And not only that, we also have in version 2.1 Aventurine coming out, which he's also going to be sustaining as a preservation unit, and he also has imaginary in his, you know, list. So that will help out the mono imaginary team that you could run with Dan Heng, with him being able to have like something like Dan Heng, Yukong, maybe something like Welt, or, you know, Luoch Aventurine. If you want to play that mono type of team, that is absolutely available to you with Aventurine for sure. If you don't have Luocha, which for some reason he just hasn't come out in a very long time. Is he still worth it? Is he still good? Is he still amazing? For sure. Like, I can't tell you right now in regards to the game and not be lying to you that Dan Heng is by far such an amazing character, a very strong character. I've done 0 sustained runs with Dan Heng. He just does a lot of damage overall. And with the buffs he's gotten with Ruan Mei, with having Hanya, with having Ho-Ho, with Sparkle coming on the way, with Aventurine coming on the way, there's a lot of really good things coming to Dan Heng, and he hasn't lost any support. He hasn't got any additions that basically negatively impact him. He's just only been up and up and up, and is still in one of those big spots of being one of the better DPS in the game, alongside something like Jingliu and Dr. Ratio. So other than that, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think about Dan Heng. Let me know what you think if you're going to be summoning for him instead of Black Swan, because Black Swan has been a nice topic. I also have a video talking about, you know, all the options versus Black Swan, so go make sure to watch that video if you get the chance. And then other than that, we will be talking about more stuff in regards to 2.0. I'm very excited. That stream was absolutely amazing. But let's go ahead and end this video. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a sub and like on the video if you enjoy this type of stuff. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the next one, and peace.